I chose not to protest, simply stating we wouldn't attend. But when the holiday season arrived, I made a subtle move that left the entire family reeling. Chapter 1. You're not one of us asterisk. I'll never forget the look in my daughter's eyes after I hung up the phone. Her puzzled gaze searched my face for answers I couldn't voice. "What happened?" she asked softly. I forced down the knot in my throat. "Your aunt says the wedding is for high-class guests only. We didn't make the cut." My daughter blinked, stunned. "Aren't we family?" "They think we'd stick out," I replied, keeping my voice steady. "But don't worry, we're not going." At 15, my daughter was sharp, already navigating the sting of high school cliques, and now she faced rejection from her own mother's family. It wasn't just the exclusion that hurt, it was the betrayal. I'd been married to my wife for almost 2 decades. I'd worked double shifts in our early years, funded her nursing degree, and bailaid out her parents when their second mortgage nearly sank them. I was the one who repaired their leaky faucets, watched their kids, and drove their mom to doctor's visits when no one else could. Yet now I was treated like an outsider who didn't belong in their polished world. Worse, my daughter, who'd spent hours crafting heartfelt Christmas cards for every relative, was dismissed as if she were an embarrassment they couldn't risk showing to their upscale guests. The final blow? My wife sided with them. When I confronted her, she didn't hesitate. "This isn't about you," she said icily. "It's about appearances. My sister's marrying into a circle of surgeons and CEOs. You're a manual laborer. You wouldn't fit in." Something snapped inside me. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. Instead, I calmly said, "We won't be there." She sighed, exasperated. "Don't make this about you." I didn't. I made it about my daughter and me. And the subtle move I made before Christmas? It erased the smug grins from their pretentious faces. Chapter 2. Holiday invites and strategic plans. The weeks following the wedding snub were eerily silent. My daughter buried herself in schoolwork, dodging questions from peers about why she missed her aunt's lavish wedding. Social media was flooded with images from the event, glittering lights, champagne toasts, and a particularly arrogant photo of my wife posing with her sister like they were aristocracy. I stayed quiet but not inactive. Instead of dwelling on resentment, I worked extra hours and made discreet arrangements. I'd always been good at fixing things: clogged drains, faulty heaters, fractured bonds. Now I was ready to mend this injustice with something sharper than a toolbox. By early December, I'd orchestrated a few careful moves, financial, legal, and personal. Then I executed a small but powerful act. I designed Christmas invitations, sophisticated, engraved, sealed with silver wax. They were sent not only to my wife's family, but to every guest from their wedding list: friends, coworkers, even the groom's affluent kin. The invitation read, "Christmas Eve gathering hosted by Michael and Lily, father and daughter. Join us for an evening of warmth, gratitude, and legacy. Dress code. Come as you are because no title or fortune outweighs integrity." The message was subtle but cutting. I welcomed them into our home, not because I thought they'd show up, but to make them feel the sting of being left out of something authentic. Then came the masterstroke. On December 20th, my wife came home to find her belongings neatly packed. On top sat a folder containing divorce papers and, more crucially, a property deed. "What's this?" she stammered, her face paling. "The house isn't yours anymore," I said evenly. "Check the paperwork." She flipped through the documents, her lips trembling as she read the signatures and transfer details. "What did you do?" I gave a faint smile. "I fixed something that was broken." But that was just the beginning. On Christmas Eve, the whole family arrived, decked out in shimmering attire and fake smiles, only to be stopped at the gate. A security guard handed them a note I'd prepared. "Merry Christmas. This gathering is for family, not opportunists, not snobs, and definitely not betrayers. If you want to learn what true class is, try humility." They were livid, but the real fallout came the next day. Chapter 3. The sting of public shame. Christmas morning dawned bright and serene. In our simple home, Lily and I exchanged modest gifts: a hand-drawn picture from her, a hardcover notebook from me. No grand decor, no VIPs, just music, warmth, and the quiet peace of truth. Across town, my ex-wife's family was in chaos. The previous night's humiliation had gone viral. A minor celebrity guest had streamed the moment they were turned away at the gate, note in hand. The footage captured my ex-mother-in-law yelling, "Do you know who I am?" only to be met with laughter from the crowd behind the security line. By morning, clips were everywhere online. Headlines read, "Snobbish family barred from private event after shunning father and daughter from wedding." The comments were merciless. "That dad's a hero. Who excludes their own niece from a wedding? Karma delivered." The fallout was swift. My sister-in-law, a self-proclaimed lifestyle influencer, started losing brand deals. A contract with a high-end fashion label was quietly dropped. My ex-wife's job, already shaky after workplace issues, took a hit when her name was tied to the viral debacle. She was placed on indefinite leave. At Lily's school, the story had a different effect. When she returned after the holidays, classmates and teachers treated her like a star. A teacher who blogged on the side wrote an article titled, "The Tradesman Who Schooled Elites on Dignity*." It was shared 200,000 times in 48 hours. Our quiet lives became a symbol of resilience and honor over status. Then came an unexpected call from my ex-father-in-law. His voice trembled. "Michael, we owe you and Lily an apology." I let the silence hang. "Please," he whispered, "we're losing everything. Help us fix this." "You threw away the one person who could fix things," I said, then hung up. Chapter 4. Lily's letter and the fall of a facade a week after the Christmas chaos. The media moved on, but the shame clung to my ex-wife's family like decay under a polished surface. One evening, Lily handed me an envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "A letter for Aunt Margaret," she said. "I want to say something not out of spite, but because I'm done letting them decide our worth." I read the letter. "Dear Aunt Margaret, I may not wear couture gowns or have a last name that impresses, but I have something you lack. A father who stayed. You called us unworthy, mocked him as low class. Yet when your perfect world crumbled in public disgrace, it wasn't your elite friends who could have saved you. It was the man you ridiculed at every family gathering. I don't need your parties or your approval. I just want you to know I'm proud of my dad. I hope you learn the difference between status and integrity because you're wealthy in one and empty in the other. Sincerely, Lily*. I was floored. My eyes stung, but I kept my voice steady. "You sure about sending this?" She nodded. "I'm not scared of them anymore. They need to know what they lost." She mailed it herself. 3 days later, Margaret's husband filed for separation. The scandal had uncovered more than bad manners. It exposed financial misconduct in her business. Her world unraveled. Her mansion went on the market, her social media was hacked, and leaked messages revealed her true feelings about even her closest allies. Sponsorships vanished. Her reputation was in tatters. Then my ex-wife showed up at our door, eyes swollen, makeup streaked. "Michael, please, Margaret's falling apart. I was wrong about you, about everything." I looked at her, not with anger, but with resolve. "You didn't just betray me, you betrayed Lily. That's not something I can forgive." She collapsed, pleading. "Tell the media it was a misunderstanding. You're the only one they'd believe." I tilted my head. "The man you mocked, the one you discarded, he's gone." I closed the door. Chapter 5. The final cheers and a legacy redefined 3 months later. The scandal had faded. My ex-wife's social circle dissolved and Margaret faced lawsuits. Their empire of appearances had crumbled. Meanwhile, Lily and I flourished. I was invited to speak at Lily's school for Career Day. When I walked in wearing my work clothes, some students looked skeptical until Lily stood to introduce me. "This is my dad. He's a plumber and he's the most loyal, hardworking, honest person I know. If your house flooded, he's the one you'd call. If your life fell apart, he's still the one you'd want." The room went quiet, then erupted in applause. Some teachers wiped away tears. That evening, I took Lily to a cozy diner. No suits, no flash, just us. Midway through dinner, a waiter brought a bottle of sparkling wine. "From the gentleman at the bar," he said. We glanced over to see a man in a suit raise his glass. He approached. "Mr. Thompson?" "Yes. I read about you and your daughter, the real story, your quiet strength, your grace. I lead a national program to support tradespeople and promote the value of honest work. Would you speak at our summit next month?" I blinked. "You want me?" He smiled. "We want the man who didn't break even when others mocked him." Weeks later, I stood before thousands. My speech was straightforward. They called me a nobody, a punchline, because I fix pipes, not run companies. But a man's worth isn't in his car or his watch. It's in the promises he keeps. I kept mine, especially to my daughter. The crowd gave a standing ovation. As Lily and I left the stage, she whispered, "You didn't just get even, Dad. You redefined what success means." In that moment, surrounded by genuine respect and unshakable love, I felt richer than any elite could ever hope to be. Was this justice deserved? Share your thoughts below. What would you have done? Like this story, share it with someone who needs its strength, and follow Lauren's Tales for more gripping stories of betrayal and triumph. Because here, every deception meets its reckoning and every betrayal casts a shadow. Stay bold, stay true, stay tuned.